Welcome back to the Investing Talk podcast. We talk about exciting companies, and today, well, we're looking at Archer Aviation.
Archer Aviation.
Ticker symbol ACHR.
Right.
They're making waves
Yeah.
in the world of electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft.
eVTOL.
eVTOL.
These are those futuristic flying taxis we've all been hearing about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the future of
railroads.
transportation.
Exactly. And that's what has everybody excited, right? This potential to reshape
For sure.
how we move around cities.
Yeah, imagine soaring above gridlock.
Yeah, above all that traffic.
Getting to your destination faster.
Much faster.
More sustainable.
Yeah, environmentally friendly.
And Archer is right there at the forefront.
Leading the charge.
Yeah,
And investors are definitely taking notice.
it takes time.
But before we get too excited, I think we got to look at what's been happening with ACHR's stock lately.
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride.
ACHR is down 3.32% for the week and a bigger 15.54% for the month.
Wow.
But we did see a little upward tick intraday on February 10th, hitting $9.94 at one point.
So up and down,
Yeah, a little volatile.
which, not unusual
Yeah.
for a company in such a brand new industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what I'm seeing is the technical indicators, though.
Yes,
They're painting kind of a mixed picture.
a little bit.
For example, the short-term moving averages.
Like your 5-day.
5-day, 10-day, 20-day, they're all saying sell.
Right.
But then the longer-term ones,
Yeah.
like 100-day, 200-day, they're pointing more toward a buy.
Yeah, so the short-term ones are really kind of showing us that recent dip, but the longer-term ones seem to be more optimistic.
Yeah, so people are kind of thinking maybe it's a good time to buy.
Some investors are, yeah.
Yeah, some are taking a quick profit.
Exactly.
Others are looking long-term. Okay, so to illustrate this a little bit further, on February 8th, the 20-day exponential moving average was at $9.27, which is higher than the closing share price of $9.02.
Right.
So that's a sell signal.
Classic.
Yet the 50-day moving average was lower at $8.53.
Yeah,
Which is a buy.
a buy.
It's like, what do we do?
I know, it's enough to make your head spin, right?
It is. It really is.
And then we have the RSI Relative Strength Index.
Yeah.
That's currently at 47.96, which is pretty neutral.
Yeah.
But I did find another source that showed an RSI of 73.088, which indicates a buy.
Wow, so even the momentum is not clear.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So, okay, so then we got the MACD,
MACD.
moving average convergence divergence.
Yes.
It's sending a buy signal of 0.03.
Okay.
Again, another source has it at 0.201.
Right.
We've got conflicting signals everywhere.
Yeah, and it's important to remember with technical analysis, it's not like 100% guaranteed.
Oh, for sure not.
It's not a crystal ball. It's more like, reading tea leaves a little bit.
I see, yeah.
A CHR is definitely attracting a lot of attention, speculation, that's
alright.
probably contributing to that volatility.
So beyond the numbers, what are the analysts saying? Because I know their opinions can really kind of sway things.
Yeah, for sure.
So what have we got?
So we're seeing optimism from Canaccord Genuity Group and Deutsche Bank Aktiengesellschaft.
Okay.
Both have raised their price targets for ACHR and given it a buy rating.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, but JP Morgan is a little more cautious.
Okay.
They're at a neutral rating.
Okay.
They did increase their price target,
Okay.
but they're not as gung-ho as the other two.
So a little more hesitant.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. And then, there's always that insider activity.
Okay.
Back in December, director Michael Spellacy sold a big chunk of his shares.
He did.
CEO Adam D. Goldstein also sold shares in November.
Right.
That can be a red flag sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not always clear-cut. Sometimes it's just personal financial planning.
Right.
But it's definitely something to consider.
Yeah. Something investors need to keep in mind.
Yeah.
So we've got mixed signals from indicators, mixed opinions from analysts, and some insider selling that's making people wonder,
A little bit.
how does all of this fit into the bigger market picture, though?
Yeah, so ACHR isn't immune to broader trends.
Right.
We've seen it reflect both the ups and downs of the market in recent weeks.
Yeah, makes sense.
And there has been a lot of speculation. Some analysts are saying, past surges were due to optimism about eVTOL commercialization.
So a lot of external factors at play.
Definitely.
But it's important to also remember that Archer Aviation, it's a company.
Absolutely.
Not just a stock.
It's a real company, yeah.
Yeah, they're front runners in this eVTOL space, but they also made this move into the defense market with Archer Defense.
Yeah, smart move. Diversification.
Diversifying.
They're trying to manage finances, raising equity, even looking into stock buybacks.
Oh, wow.
But there have been some concerns about their approval to double authorized shares.
And that could lead to share dilution, right?
It's a possibility, yeah.
And that could impact existing shareholders negatively?
Potentially, yeah.
So it seems like we have a company here that's pushing the boundaries of innovation, but they're also facing some financial challenges.
For sure.
Let's unpack those a little bit.
Okay.
Archer's making progress towards FAA certification.
Big step.
Huge.
Yeah.
They got key partnerships with Stellantis and United Airlines.
Yeah. Major players.
They're showing they're committed to bringing eVTOL technology to the masses.
To everyone, yeah.
Yeah, to everyone.
It's very world.
But their financial performance, it does raise some red flags.
Okay.
They're still operating at a net loss.
Yeah.
Negative free cash flow.
Yeah. And they're relying a lot on stock issuance to fund things.
Okay.
So that's something to watch.
Something to watch.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then we're also seeing some of that bearish sentiment.
A little bit.
High short interest, although there is some bullish activity in the options market.
Yeah, some people are still bullish.
So it's a really complex picture, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot of potential, but there are some real risks too.
Yeah, ACHR sounds like a stock that requires very careful consideration.
For sure.
So before we jump into all that, I think we need to take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment to discuss what all this means for investors like you.
Sounds good. ACHR is really kind of a snapshot of the whole eVTOL sector right now.
Yeah, you're right.
There's that huge excitement.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Feels like a transformative industry, like we're watching the birth of it.
It really does. And as with any new technology, there's a lot of unknowns, right?
Yeah, so many questions.
It's like, will eVTOL aircraft actually live up to the hype?
Will they? Yeah.
Will regulators clear the way?
Right.
For wide adoption?
For everybody to use them, yeah.
And will the public embrace flying taxis?
Right. Will we all be doing it?
Yeah.
And for investors, the big question, will these companies be able to turn their vision into profit?
Right. That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah. A lot of them are burning cash.
Yeah.
To achieve scale and dominate the market.
Exactly.
Yeah. So investors need to be realistic.
Very realistic.
This is a long-term play.
Definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Right.
There will be bumps in the road.
Yeah. And probably some companies that don't make it.
Right. Some casualties.
Yeah. So for somebody who's listening, thinking about adding ACHR to their portfolio, what are the most important things to think about?
Okay, so first of all, I always say do your own research.
Yeah, of course.
Don't rely on podcasts.
Or anything.
Yeah, look at the company's financials. Read analyst reports.
Okay.
Stay up to date on industry news.
Get a good sense of the competition.
Exactly. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
When it comes to investing, especially.
It's everything.
Yeah. So what else should investors be thinking about?
So you really need to think about your own goals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And your risk tolerance. Like, are you looking for a quick buck?
Short term.
Or are you in it for the long haul?
Yeah. Are you willing to ride the waves?
Exactly.
Because ACHR, if you're looking for a quick profit.
Yeah, probably not the best bet.
Not a good fit, no.
This is for investors who believe in the tech.
Yeah.
And have the patience to see it through.
And a little bit of a pioneering spirit, wouldn't you say?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit of a gambler.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be comfortable with the unknown.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, I want to circle back to those technical indicators.
Okay.
The mixed signals.
Yeah.
We talked about them, but I'm still a little unclear.
Sure.
You got the short-term moving averages saying sell.
Yeah.
Long-term saying buy.
Right.
How do we reconcile those two things?
So moving averages are just one tool, right?
Right.
They can give us insight, but they're not a crystal ball.
So we shouldn't base our decisions on moving averages alone.
Absolutely not. You got to look at the whole picture.
The whole picture.
Yeah.
So, market sentiment. How's the company doing?
Right. Fundamentals.
News and events.
Yeah. Anything affecting the stock.
And, of course, those indicators.
Right.
But don't fixate.
Don't get tunnel vision.
Yeah, on one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so look for patterns.
Exactly.
If several indicators are pointing in the same direction, that's maybe a stronger signal.
It's a better signal, yeah.
Okay, so use a variety of sources.
Right, don't just look at one thing.
So if the short-term moving averages are saying sell,
right,
but the long-term are buy, and maybe there's some bullish sentiment.
Positive news
about the company, that might suggest the dip is temporary.
Yeah, and the long-term prospects are good.
So context is key.
Context is everything.
Not just the numbers, but how they fit into the bigger story.
Exactly, and I think that's just good advice for investing generally.
Yeah.
Don't get swept up in the hype.
Right.
Do your research. Think critically.
Make smart choices.
Yeah, make good decisions.
Yeah. So if we apply that to ACHR, what are some takeaways for investors?
I'd say the main takeaway is that ACHR has a lot of potential, but it also has a lot of risk.
Right.
This is a new industry,
Brand new.
very volatile.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
There's no guarantee of success.
So it could go either way.
It could, but if they can pull it off, the rewards are massive.
Huge, huge payout.
So big potential, but also the chance that things won't go as planned.
Right. What else?
You really need to look at their financials.
Okay.
They're not profitable, burning cash.
Uh-huh.
How long can they keep that up?
Before needing more money?
Exactly.
And then what?
If they need more funds, that could dilute the shares.
And that impacts everybody.
Yeah, impacts the value for everyone.
So it's not just about the technology. It's about whether they can make money.
Right. Can they build a real business?
Yeah. A sustainable business.
And that's where insider activity can be helpful.
Oh, okay.
If they're selling off a lot of stock.
It's a sign. Maybe they don't believe as much.
Yeah, it could be a red flag.
Yeah.
Of course, they might have other reasons.
Sure.
Personal reasons.
Right. To sell.
But you should pay attention to it.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about financials. We talked about insider activity.
Mm-hmm.
What about the competition?
Yeah, so they're not alone.
There's other companies
Big companies.
trying to do the same thing.
Boeing, Airbus.
Wow.
They want a piece of the pie.
Yeah. This is a big market.
It's a huge market.
So ACHR, they got to stand out.
Yeah, they need to differentiate.
Not just build a cool flying taxi.
Right, it's got to be a good business too.
Yeah, they got to make money.
So they need partnerships, navigate regulations,
Build a brand.
attract talent,
Keep the investors happy.
keep everyone happy.
Because they're the ones paying for all of this.
They're the ones making it possible.
So it's a high-stakes game.
it is
It's a lot of moving parts.
a lot going on.
But for those who are willing to take the risk,
Yeah,
the potential's there.
big potential, yeah.
High risk, high reward.
That's the name of the game in emerging tech.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Not for the faint of heart.
But for those who believe in this future,
Yeah,
a CHR might be worth watching.
yeah. It's definitely a company to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's a fascinating sector, this whole eVTOL thing.
It's going to be very interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Yeah, so today we covered a lot.
A lot, yeah.
We looked at indicators, ratings, the company,
News, events,
risks, rewards.
competition.
We really went deep on ACHR.
We did a deep dive.
Yeah, and I think the message for our listeners is that this is complex.
Very complex.
No easy answers, no guarantees.
Right.
Investing in ACHR is a bet
Yeah, on the future.
on the future of urban air mobility.
I know.
And that comes with potential and risk.
Big time.
The bet on innovation, disruption.
A bet on a future where we can all fly around.
Flying around in taxis.
No more traffic.
That's pretty cool, I gotta admit.
It's a cool vision, yeah.
But it's also a bet that requires patience.
Patience, yeah.
You gotta ride the waves.
Volatility is going to be there.
And you really need to understand the company, the industry.
Everything, the whole landscape.
So for those of you listening, intrigued by ACHR
Yeah.
and excited about this future,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
Well, I would say, definitely do your research.
Yeah.
Don't take our word for it.
Don't take anybody's word for it.
Yeah, go look at those financial statements yourself.
Really dig deep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep up with what's happening in the industry.
Yeah.
Talk to some analysts, get different perspectives.
Get different perspectives.
Make your own decision, but
Yeah.
most importantly, think about your own goals, right?
Yeah.
Your risk tolerance.
Your risk tolerance.
Is this the right investment for you?
Because this is not
It's not.
a low risk, stable,
No, not at all.
kind of investment, right?
This is a growth stock, a speculative stock. You
Well,
could lose money.
You could lose it all.
You could, absolutely.
So high risk, high reward. I think we've established that.
For sure.
But for those who've done their homework
Yeah.
and they're still interested, what should they watch for?
So FAA certification, that's a big one.
Huge.
Yeah,
Any company in eVTOLs, that's the hurdle.
absolutely.
So any news about that?
Keep an eye on that. Yeah, that'll give investors confidence.
Yeah. Okay, what else?
I'd look at their financials too.
Yeah.
Can they start cutting those losses?
Start making some money.
Yeah, exactly. Can they get to positive cash flow?
That would show that they're not just a startup burning cash.
Yeah, it shows they can build a real business.
A sustainable business.
Yeah,
Yeah, and any news about partnerships,
for sure.
production plans.
That's a market strategy.
This industry changes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You got to stay informed.
You got to be in the know.
That's what we try to do here on the Investing Talk podcast,
That's right. We want to give investors the information they need.
to navigate these complex markets.
Absolutely. It's all about making informed decisions.
So there you have it, folks.
Yeah.
Our deep dive into ACHR Aviation, ACHR.
They're trying to change transportation.
But a lot of challenges, a lot of uncertainties.
For sure.
It's a story that's still being written.
Yeah, we'll be watching.
And I think the big takeaway is this is complicated, no easy answers.
All right. Lots of potential, lots of risk.
Investing in ACHR is a bet on the future.
A bet on flying cars.
Flying cars, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to be patient. You got to ride the waves.
Do your research.
Understand the company, understand the industry.
Yeah, understand everything.
Well, thanks for joining us today on the Investing Talk podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Make sure to subscribe, share this with your friends.
Let us know what you think in the comments.
And as always, folks, do your own research. Yeah, invest wisely.
And never stop learning.